Hi everybody, we are here at River Trail for our second Roving Reporter segment. We have got ourselves Heather Van Looy, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about what she does. But if you want to tweet during our broadcast, make sure you use our hashtags FCS Vanguard or hashtag personalizedFCS. So Heather here is an Instructional Technology Specialist, and I'm going to give Heather a chance to tell us a little bit about herself. Heather, how long have you been with Fulton County?
This is my 17th year with the county and my second year serving as an Instructional Technology Specialist. I started my career at State Bridge Crossing Elementary, and I was there for 8 years. And then I graduated to middle school, and I was a 7th grade math teacher here until I became the Instructional Tech Specialist.
Very nice. Now, some people may not know exactly what an Instructional Technology Specialist does. Can you explain a little bit about what you do?
Sure. My role here is to help teachers learn how to integrate technology into their classroom and to transform learning so that we're not just using technology in substitutive ways, just substituting a tech device for something that could be done with paper and pencil, but that we're really moving and shifting the way that we teach and learn in this school and utilizing the power of technology for that. In addition to that, as we are embarking on this personalized learning journey in Fulton County, I'm also serving as the project manager for our personalized learning design team. So I do my job is sort of split right now between those things, and they're really closely integrated too.
And so now that you've been at River Trail in this role for a little bit, how do you feel like instructional technology has helped help the teachers personalize their instruction and learning for students?
Well, we focused mostly last year on transforming learning with technology, and we weren't focused so much on the personalization piece. But this year we're doing a lot of staff development and trying to, teach our teachers what that looks like and how technology can help support them. And, I think that people are starting to try that out, but we're in those beginning phases. We're a Group 2 school, so we started our planning this summer, and we're in the midst of developing our personalized learning plan right now, and we'll be looking at devices and things like that for next year. So right now we're BYOD. Our students bring their own devices, and teachers have the technology in our school available to them. But I think that technology can really help teachers personalize because it can free them up to focus on the things that that they can do that a computer can't. Like, I think a lot of time when we start talking about digital content delivery, teachers get a little bit scared. Like, they're trying to replace my job with a computer, right? And that's just fearful for a lot of people. And the truth is that a computer cannot replace a teacher.
Absolutely.
But it can replace some of the content delivery that we do. So those lecturing and teaching skills and things like that, and some, drill and practice and stuff like that we do, a computer can do that, right?
Definitely.
And what a computer can't do is teach kids how to collaborate and problem solve and work together and deal with real life situations and persevere and all of those things. So we want to free teachers up to be able to focus on those things, those real world 21st century skills. And the computer, having some kids working on a computer for the content stuff, allows a teacher to be freed up to do some of those other things.
I think that's a great explanation of the way that those things can be used. Now, you mentioned that River Trail is a Group 2 rollout school. Can you just tell people that we're Group 3 is really getting into it now, they're starting the process, but tell people, what has that process been like for your team, for you? What have you guys gone through so far?
Right. So I knew this was coming, so I was really proactive last year trying to get things ready because I knew I was going to be in charge. And, it's like, how do you eat an elephant? Like, that's really scary to be in charge of such a big thing, but exciting, right? But nerve-wracking. So the first thing that I did was put together a really solid team of teachers to be our personalized learning design team. And on that team, it was really important that we have not only cross-content areas and cross-grade level, but also varying levels of technology skill. I think sometimes people's tendency is to go for those early adopters and get a team full of early adopters, but you really need the perspective of the people who are late adopters and who feel a little bit intimidated by technology and feel that their technology skills aren't necessarily the strongest, because there are people in your school who are like that, and you need to hear from them to make this plan work. So that was the first step, was putting together a really strong design team. Then during the summer, we did several activities that were led by Ed Elements in Fulton County, starting with a content fair to learn about some of the digital resources available to us. We did that in May. In June, we did a personalized learning simulation where we went and learned some more about personalized learning through a personalized learning model. So
what
that
better way to do it?
Right. So that we could, experience what that might look like. And then we did, in July, Design Workshop 1.0, where we started to look a little bit more about what instructional models can be used to support personalized learning and to start to think through what that might look like in our classroom. When we came back to school, we felt like it was important for us to start to bring some of that to the teachers. So I did some training with our full staff during pre-planning. And then again on September 8th, we had a day off that day as a part of our request for flexibility, a professional development day. So we did a full day of personalized learning training for our staff, where the staff did a simulation and did some of those things that we did as a team.
Themselves.
Exactly. And then yesterday, we did Design Workshop 2.0, where we really started to finalize our different models that we at River Trail want to adopt in order to try and solve our problem of practice, which is part of the process too, is identifying, like, what is it about your school and your students that's preventing you from fully realizing your school's vision? And how could personalized learning help you overcome some of those problems? So, every school's going to look different, because every school's got a different problem. And I really like the way Fulton County has approached that piece.
Yeah, I really agree with Heather on that point. One of the things that I've had a chance to see it both from the school side and then from somebody who's assisting in the process is, when you start to begin, it's really great to watch it unfold and just to trust the process, because it's set up in such a scaffolded way that it helps the teachers, it helps the schools to understand what it is they should be doing. Now, as an ed tech lover, Heather and I are both ed tech lovers, so I know this is a difficult question for you, but if you had to say what one of your favorite tools is to use either with teachers or with students, what would you say your favorite tool is?
I am an ed tech lover, and I have a ton of tools that I love to use, I always find people ask me this question a lot, right? But it's really hard to answer, because I feel strongly that the tools should match the purpose, right? So when people come to me and say, I want to do something with Kahoot, or I want to do something with Prezi, or I want to do something with whatever, I say, wait a minute, let's back up. What is it that you want the kids to be able to do and learn? And then let's find the tool that's right for that. It may be the tool that they originally came to me with, but sometimes there's a better tool, or, so I always lead with the purpose.
Yes.
With that said, we, recently adopted Office 365, and because I wanted to be able to support our teachers, I jumped in with both feet with that, and I really love the Office 365 suite of products.
Yes.
I think it makes it really easy to collaborate. I'm super excited about when students have access. That is going to be a game changer.
Yes.
I had never heard of OneNote until last year. I'm an ed tech person. That is like the best kept secret of Microsoft or anywhere. I love OneNote, and I cannot wait until we have students on board and we can use OneNote Class Creator, because I think that'll be really exciting for student portfolios and collaboration. There's just a lot of potential there.
Yeah, and I want to go back to what you were saying about the tools. I think what Heather does in the way that she supports the teachers, starting with that learning outcome, is key. Everybody wants to use these fun new tools and things, but if you don't have that purpose in mind, you're not going to get where you need to go. Now, River Trail was the first school in Fulton County that became a digital citizenship certified school through Common Sense Media. So tell us a little bit, Heather, about how that changed instruction for teachers and students.
Well, that came about because until last year, we were not a BYOG school. That was something
Okay.
that I implemented last year with the support of the administration. And I just felt really strongly that if we're going to be giving kids access to devices and that we're going to be, having them using technology more and in different ways, that we have a huge responsibility to make sure that they understand how to behave appropriately in their online life, right? Anything from, being respectful online and thinking about their digital footprint to, copyright and all the things that are responsible there. And I was aware of Common Sense Media's, materials and just looked into that. So we, used that platform to teach our kids about digital citizenship last year. And I think prior to that, when we did research, we would talk about copyright or things like that. But there wasn't a real ongoing dialogue about digital citizenship. And, although everybody, would, if there was a teachable moment that came up talking about social media or things like that, certainly teachers talk about it. But it wasn't a school priority, and there wasn't an ongoing conversation about that. And that's changed.
That's
like,
wonderful.
We really have put that in place so that every student is exposed to that. We have an expectation that once we've done some of those lessons that they're going to, behave that way. And when they don't, there's an opportunity for us to talk about, digital citizenship. I remember, last year when there were all the snow and ice storms.
Yes.
It was,
And forget, right?
Yes, exactly. And, the decisions were being questioned that Fulton County was making, and there were a lot of students in Fulton County making some really horrific and nasty comments on Dr. Avosa's Twitter feed. And, there were like a couple that we recognized as River Trail students. And because we had that digital citizenship conversation, we were able to have, bring that up in context and say, this is what we're talking about. Like,
Show
you
the
would not
importance.
say that to his face, And I don't know that would have happened prior to us having that curriculum in place here.
Yeah, that's an important thing. So anybody out there that has questions about the Common Sense School certification, Heather would be a great contact for you.
Please contact me. I'm happy to talk.
And we are, like I said, here at River Trail, and we're not just here to talk to Heather today, but we have a fabulous teacher who's doing great things with personalized learning in her classroom. In fact, we'll do a quick tour of her room after this and have her talk through some of those things. But we have Gina Ceely with us today. So Gina, come on in. Gina is a 7th grade ELA teacher. She is also, like Heather, a Vanguard member. So shout out to the FCS Vanguard folks. And she's been doing these great things. And so Gina, I just want you to, give us a quick little background like Heather did. Tell us how long you've been with Fulton County and kind of your journey, if you will, into the personalized learning classroom.
Okay. This is my 3rd year with Fulton County and only my 3rd year teaching. So this is my first job here at River Trail. I went to Kennesaw and I started out as an early childhood major, and I spent about 3 hours with 4-year-olds and decided that wasn't for me. So I am here.
It takes a special person.
Yes,
That's true.
I am here in the middle school level. It's a perfect fit for me.
Good.
And then with the personalized learning, like Heather said, she was trying to be proactive, and so last year she started doing some tutorials of different tools and things that we could be using in our classroom, and she did a book study on the book Blended. And
you participated
I
in
did
as well.
participate. Thank you for that. There you go.
So we did that book study, and
Yeah.
as we're going through and we're having these conversations weekly or monthly, I'm like, I can see there being a lot of naysayers about how is this going to work. I don't want to try it unless I know it's going to work, or this is going to be a disaster. And I'm kind of one of those like, well, let's just jump in and try it. And so I thought, why not be the guinea pig, I guess?
Hey.
Because we were all asking, when are we going to get to take field trips to see these things in
Yes.
action?
Yeah.
And so I was like, what if the field trip was like in building? And they could come. So my idea was to kind of be a model for the people in the building, and it's turned into more.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That you have. We have Heather created a beautiful thing link, an interactive image for us of Gina's classroom, which is fantastic. So we'll make sure to share that out as well. But now, yeah, Gina gets to be a stop for us all the time now, so that we can see the things that she's doing in her classroom. And you, like I mentioned, you are currently a Vanguard team member. What was it that made you want to join the Vanguard team?
I went to several conferences, and I think I saw this video maybe 3 times, where at the end of the video it's talking about how we're preparing students for jobs that don't exist yet, and that made me think, like, I was educated the same way my parents were educated, the same way their parents were educated, and maybe the field of jobs didn't change that much over that 100 years. You could be like a doctor, a lawyer, a secretary, and then thinking about the rate of change now, and the fact that we do need to change the way that we're presenting things to kids to prepare them for this multitude of jobs and jobs that they're going to invent for themselves. So I thought I'd really like to be on board with that. It sounds exciting, and so like I said, I'm kind of a jump right in there person. So
well, we are thrilled that you jumped in and you joined our team for that. And as I mentioned before, Gina's got her room set up really to fit that personalized learning model. So if you wouldn't mind taking us, we'll kind of walk around, so hopefully the signal stays with us. But Gina's going to walk us around, do a quick little tour, and tell us a little bit about why she set it up the way that she did and why she made those choices. Unfortunately, we shifted her beautiful little spot here just a little bit, but you know, if we'll go ahead and we'll follow you around, Gina, if you don't mind, just kind of telling us about the different spaces that you've got.
You start kind of right here.
Okay.
The way I kind of thought about this, or I was wrapping my head around it, was I thought about it as what does a corporate workplace look like, and what types of spaces are available in a corporate workspace, and so I have a supply central, thinking of it almost like as
Definitely.
this is where we're standing,
Very labeled,
like
which I appreciate.
Where you might put together models or posters or things, like you might have a space like that. So this is kind of my area where they're coming to put together or construct things for their ideas and for different projects or things that they're working on.
I love that.
And then here is my information station.
Okay.
And this is where I'm able to project if I want a group of kids watching something, or they're working through something through the computer and they want to be able, the whole group, to see it and work through it. So that this is where another small group kind of meets and works through things. And then I have team training. This is where I do my small group pull-out.
Okay.
So I will pull, so it's usually 3 to 5. And we're sitting over here and working on a concept that I either think will be difficult for that particular group based on like the data that I have, or on Thursdays I remediate with a group on something they've struggled with during the week. I pull a different group over here and we work just in a much smaller, and it makes it much easier.
Yes, first of all, I love the setup, but I love that you said you use the data in order to pull that small group, so that you know that you're able to give them that just-in-time direct instruction because of the data that you use. So I love that piece. So I'll let you direct where we're headed to next.
This kind of, also, the group of students that I have over here, they find it helpful, one, because their back is kind of to the rest of the action.
Yes.
So they're able to kind of focus in on you.
That's a good point.
Also, I've had several students come in and say, you know, I really like this. Like, I'm able to work with you at a different pace, and I don't feel like I'm holding anybody else back.
That's great for their self-confidence.
Right. So they feel more open to ask things and really dive in with me.
That's perfect.
Back here is my conference room.
Okay.
Just like you might have a conference
I don't know
room.
if you can see it. You can move the camera this way if you want to get closer.
Just like you might have a conference room in the corporate world, a place where you hold meetings.
Yes.
So they're able to sign up with their group and come over and have like a meeting or meet with me as a group. And sometimes I do one-on-one. I'll either do that here or at my desk.
Yeah. I love the desk.
Yeah, regular teaching desk.
That's perfect.
So I remember during pre-planning, I came in to put something on her desk, and it was my first time in this room this year, and I was like, where is the desk?
Well, I think that that's a good example of changing the mindset that, you know, you're not this teacher desk that's kind of taking up this big space. You're a part of what the action is and what the students are doing, which is great.
Yeah. And then sort of this chunk of area here is one of my computation stations. There's a computer, and sometimes we have an iPad here, and this is students working through that digital online content, or things that they might need the internet for if they're doing research or anything like that.
Awesome.
And the same with this is computation station A. Again, it's a computer and usually an iPad or two, whatever I can wrangle up for them to use and work with digital content. And then the last kind of area is my literacy lobby, or my classroom library. And this is where kids meet to do book discussions, or if they're ahead or they've built in time into their schedule to just sit and read, then they sit over in this area and just have some quiet time to read.
I really love that there are separate spaces in the room so that everybody can be doing something different without interrupting the actions of the others. So I want to say thank you very much to both Heather and Gina for letting us come in here today. You guys were wonderful. You're doing great things in Fulton County, and I think that you should be very proud of how hard you have worked. So I hope that lots of you were able to join us today, and we will see you hopefully again next week with another segment of Roving Reporter. Thanks.